They talk a lot about potentially destructive systems, whether that is a missile launched from an aircraft, a laser fired from the ground, or some kind of satellite that might fry another one with radio frequency. These things are probably fairly far off, and work may be going on them, but I'm not sure any of these are near-term projects.
Has weaponizing space always, has it been a part of every administration's goal to do something along this line? I know that people would probably think of Reagan's Star Wars initiative and things along that nature, but is this a common theme along administrations?
It's probably been an issue for administrations, especially since we use space more and more. I think that it's become a more high-profile issue under the Bush administration. It's hard to know whether that is because of Secretary Rumsfeld, who's a long-time space advocate and had headed a commission shortly before being nominated to serve again as Secretary of Defense, or simply the fact that we've seen increasingly how important this is to our forces, and we've gotten great examples of that in Iraq and Afghanistan, and folks want to both ensure that we can protect our assets and make sure that somebody else can't take the same advantage of space.
The space control, was it part of the paper that Mr. Rumsfeld signed earlier this month on, I think it was a position paper or something along that line? Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. There is some reference in there, to this very issue, and it's been the most important thing to draw from that is probably that Secretary Rumsfeld signed it. Rather than really trying to interpret what it may mean, this is the kind of language that we've seen increasingly in Air Force documents, and it's one thing for it to appear in a document from Air Force Space Command. It's another thing to appear in a document signed by the Chief of Staff of the Air Force, and it just shows the level of importance when it's in something signed by Secretary Rumsfeld.
It was on March 1st. It was a National Defense Strategy paper is what I was looking for.
Right.
Next call, Easton, Pennsylvania.
Yes, good morning. First off, let me say that after reading the 9/11 report, I believe we need to be more offensively minded as it relates to defending America. That being said, there was a report recently given to the White House regarding pre-war intelligence in Iraq that was very critical of the intelligence community and what they knew. It went so far as to say that we know very little about the nuclear activities of countries that we are addressing currently. And I wanted to know, what's your view of signal intelligence and satellite-based intelligence as compared to the push towards more human intelligence, not only in the Middle East, but other sensitive areas?
I'll tell you just sort of briefly about this. Signal intelligence has gotten harder and harder to do in recent years, particularly with the growth of fiber optic technology. It's very hard to pick up on that from a satellite. This was an issue that I talked about with the head of the National Security Agency shortly before September 11th, and it's really been highlighted since then. Satellites probably will continue to play a role in this area, but it's becoming increasingly apparent how important the human intelligence side is.
San Antonio, Texas.
Yes, good morning. I do have a question for Mr. Singer. Yes, I would like to know how far down the road do you see this new military technology being commercialized, being used for other purposes?
I'm a little confused by your question.
And what I'm asking is, this new technology that is being used for military purposes, do you see down the road any applications for any other commercial venture of that sort?
Are you talking about space control technology? Or military
yes.
technology in general?
Pardon me?
Are you talking about space control technology or military space technology in general?
No, the first one, the control technology.
Boy, it's hard to say. The most likely application would simply, we talked before about monitoring our assets in space, and the Pentagon certainly wants to know what's happening with its assets up in space. Commercial satellite companies want to have that same kind of information, so I'd expect they'd be interested in getting that same kind of data as well.
Chagrin Falls, Ohio.
Yes, hi, thank you. First-time caller, finally got through.